Hey everybody, welcome to the Sleepy Time Podcast, better known as Disc Only. Welcome everybody to the Disc Only Podcast, a podcast that has somehow been around for a year and we're still not sure why. I'm your main host, Proton John, and as always I'm joined by Tom Fox.
Yep, that's me, and the robots want to kill me.
I am Steven, and I am awake. This ain't no sleepy time podcast. It's time to get up and move.
But what if I want to sleep?
You can't.
I'm Jared, and I'm scared of Steven at the moment.
So it's a normal podcast, got it.
Also, 20% of the population.
Ooh, is that how many people are named Steven?
Wow.
It's my people who are scared of Stevens.
Oh, no, that makes more sense then, I guess. I'm like, damn, 20% Steven.
Well, 20% of people are scared of at least one person named Steven.
That's an incredible statistic. 1/5 of the people on the planet are named Steven.
No.
20% of the people in your life right now are named Steven.
Yep. God,
Like, really?
That's like Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series where Merrick's Millennium Rod can only control people named Steve.
Oh, yeah, well.
So,
That's
in order to get Joey and Taya to be under the control of it, he had to force them to legally change their names to Steve.
Anime was a mistake.
Oh, hey, Jared's here too.
No, that was an Abridged series.
Hey, Jared.
Wait, what do you mean?
You didn't introduce yourself.
I absolutely did.
Yes, he did.
John,
he did.
are you awake?
I told you, it's
John.
Sleepy Time Podcast for
John.
me. I'm just living up to it.
John, what's up with this sleepy time nonsense? What is that?
I'm tired, dude. I'm so fucking tired. Like, nothing wanted to let me sleep last night.
See, now I'm second guessing myself. You know what? Frick it. I'm Jared, and I'm here.
You did it.
Jared back in class. Present.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Disc Only Podcast. Oh, it doesn't play automatically, damn it. All right, well, the joke's gone. I lost it.
Are we gonna do this again?
Oh my god.
It's Sleepy Time Podcast, everybody. Welcome to Disc Only. I'm Proton John.
Somebody's taking the train to Sleepy Time Podcast.
I'm sorry. I did not hear you get introduced, Jared.
Oh, it's all good. No worries.
He fell asleep.
And that's okay.
I've done that before. I've fallen asleep standing up, so it's not surprising I would fall asleep during a stream or podcast.
I've fallen asleep in the shower before, but never standing up.
It's okay though, because all we need is enough System of a Down where we won't get copyright strike. Wake up!
Oh man. Did I ever tell the story about how I wanted to use that as an alarm clock to bother my roommate?
No.
I don't think so, no.
No. So back in the time I had a roommate that was kind of driving me insane. So I had made my own playlist of songs that would wake me up, and it was usually songs that start like super mellow, and then if I haven't turned off the alarm in like a minute, they just start screaming at me. And I think Chop Suey was specifically like the second song in the track. It's just like, all right, if you don't wake up at this point, then it's just, you're going to be screamed at. But I'm like, I know how to audio edit. What if I just took my iPod speaker, hid it under my roommate's bed, and then just set an alarm super early, and it was just the scream of wake up, the scream, like the wake up, just looping over and over for like 10 minutes while he tries to find where I hid the speaker.
Oh my god.
I sadly never did this.
That sounds like my cast, just in a nutshell. Just just the random wake ups.
Speaking of Apple products,
Should
that was the perfect segue. The perfect segue.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So 2 days ago, yesterday I had company over, so I wanted to get the house cleaned up. So 2 days ago, I was like, I'll go to Walmart and pick up a bunch of like cleaning supplies and some groceries and whatnot. Get in my car, pop on the radio, activate Siri, and say, "Hey, digital assistant, get directions to Walmart." And it pops up with the list of the Walmart locations, And then it starts reciting this passage from either a story or a news story that was like really dark and really graphic about like this man with a knife.
No, that's
like
a fan fiction. It was 100% a fan fiction, a romantic novel.
I don't know, man. It was about a dude with a knife, and it was told from this woman's perspective, who was like definitely like scared of in this situation. And after like reading this passage, it went on for like probably like a minute, and I have it recorded. I don't want to share it because it's really graphic. But like I have it recorded, and like it's like a minute of just this passage being read, and at the very end of it, it goes, "By the way, the closest Walmart is here."
What if that was actually part of the story the whole time? What if actually the
directions
knife
brought to you
that they were carving their body
fanfiction.net.
with was actually making a map to
Yeah,
that Walmart?
this dude's talking about how it's like he's got cut, like he's like, oh, it's. This is triggering. I don't want to like repeat what was said in it.
It's crazy.
I mean,
Yeah,
here's a line I can actually repeat that's pretty safe. I was one of the few monsters who was good at playing human, I believe was the line from it. Like it was
Yeah.
like I said, when I searched it, it brought up like a bunch of like romance novels. Victoria Schwab.
I mean,
Or
like,
I don't know if that's
just
romantic, but...
But the
Basic-
problem is, I don't know how Get Directions to Walmart brought that up.
like just like to make it a little bit more simplified, just imagine you're asking Siri, hey, where's the nearest Walmart? And it starts just saying the most scary, random stuff, and then it's just like, by the way, it's about 2 miles to the right. Like, oh my god, it's actually crazy because like he had a video of it, and we all watched it, and we're just like, oh.
And that was like that, and like Steven brought up as well, asked me if I had like repeated the thing and if it brought it up again. That was the first time I did it. And I tried it again afterwards and it didn't work, but I brought it I tried bringing it up initially. And then like it started reading the thing, and then because I was just sitting there in stunned silence for like 15 seconds or so before I was like, the screen recorder. Got to get my screen recorder up.
You know,
It's nuts.
that is now a good idea for a bumper where someone goes up to another person and says, "Hey, buddy, can you tell me how to get to the McDonald's?" And they turn and they say, "The blade was on the nightstand." And you're like, "I'm sorry, what?" "It was on the nightstand, and the blood run down."
Oh my
I love
god!
Oh,
And then it's like the lighting just gets darker and darker and more like decrepit, and then right at the end it's like, oh, by the way, it's right over there, and they're like, thanks. It just
The
fades to
McDonald's
black.
is 3 blocks.
or just like a sudden like 180 in terms of like disposition, like, you know, and the blood ran dripping down. Walmart's over there.
Thanks.
You can't miss it. It's next to the blood.
Dude, it like that happening to you reminds me of whenever me and my mom were coming back from the upstate, and we were hungry, so we were trying to get to where was it? I think it was Cheddar's, which is a really good restaurant.
There's Cheddar's here in Austin. I love them.
Yeah, Cheddar's is really good. But the problem is that we had no idea where we were going because we were like out of town. We were I can't remember what state we were in, but we were trying to get to Cheddar's, and we had looked it up on Siri and basically asked, "Yo, where's Cheddar's?" And then it found the address. But we were talking crap about Siri, okay? Like, hear me out. We were like, God, Siri just doesn't know where the frick it's taking us. Like, God, that's so stupid. Like, what the frick? And Siri, without us asking to do it, like the address was not to a Cheddar's, it was to a graveyard. And I'm not kidding.
Murder barn, murder barn, murder barn.
Me and my mom are driving, and it's about 9:00, and we were trying to get to Cheddar's before it closed at like 10 or 11. And this is about maybe a decade ago or something like that. And we just end up at a graveyard, and we look down at my phone, and we apologize. We were like, "We are sorry, Siri. Can you take us to Cheddar's?" And then it took us to Cheddar's. And like, it was just the craziest freaking thing ever. Oh my God. Murder barn.
Yeah, no, my ex, a while back, they were traveling in the States at one point, and they were trying to figure out where to go. and I think it was just straight up Google Maps at that point. Led them to what can only be described as a murder barn, because it was just a random dilapidated barn just in the middle of an empty field at the end of like a dirt road is where Google tried to lead them. And I think they were trying to get to Seattle. So it was off by a little bit.
Did they go in the barn though, John?
No, of course not.
Because John, I'm just saying, what if there was like some sort of wormhole?
You're saying, what if it was
like
actually a shortcut to Seattle?
This isn't
saying.
the Gap.
I'm just someone's using a Seattle Starbucks bathroom, and they're like, "Well, what is this?" And they step in, and they're like, "Why am I in a barn?"
Through.
A wormhole opens up in the toilet, and a car pops out.
Basically,
I hate that the wormhole is in the toilet. Does that just means the barn is
here's the thing. I think of wormhole, I think of it being like a swirly vortex. I think of a toilet, I think of a swirly vortex. So
I mean, a toilet is
so you poop in wormholes? Is that what you're saying?
You know what? Yes.
I don't want to be on the opposite end of that wormhole.
A toilet is kind of a wormhole. I mean, Tom's right. You poop in it, it goes away, just like space.
Well, I mean, like, then that begs the question. Like, you drive your car into that barn, and you see just a giant pile of shit in front of a wormhole.
That's why you call it a murder barn, because clearly someone was killed there. Or pooped a lot there, one of the two.
I hate murder barn.
So you know how there's like wormholes, black holes. Have y'all ever heard of a dumb hole before?
No.
So that is actually a scientific term for a structure that does not let sound escape. So you know how like a black hole doesn't let light escape? Freaking a dumb hole is something that is an acoustic black hole. It is a ultrasound absorbent material. It's really crazy. I know it's like a random segue, but I was just like, I got to tell you what a dumb hole is.
Well, like, but that makes me think, because like, there's the argument in what photons actually are, if they're like particles or waves.
Yeah.
So like, if they're waves, then I guess only on a certain frequency. And if they're waves, then technically they wouldn't be able to escape a dumb hole either, unless the dumb hole, it only attracts a certain frequency of waves. Like it's something to pontificate upon.
Neil deGrasse Tyson has entered the chat.
God, I wish you could explain it to us. It'd be great. But yeah, like I'm a massive science nerd. I have Vsauce to thank for that one. But yeah. Look, this is the podcast about nothing. So
pretty much
that's why about
everything.
About holes.
About everything. Murder barns, dumb holes. What's next?
Murder a Siri.
Yeah.
Oh, you said her name. She's mad now. She knows. The robot revolution has begun.
Did you say something?
No, Siri. No, thank you. See, that right there is the moral of the story is don't talk crap about Siri.
And this is why I use Android, because all I have to worry about is Google taking all of my personal information and putting it online for sale.
Yeah, that's
better.
See, I think Siri does that too, but it's less personified, you know? Because it's like, instead of saying a name.
And there's also like I think like in one of like the Apple presentations recently, they were like, oh yeah, we just want your personal data to be safe. And I'm just like, nah, man, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. You hear all of our most intimate moments. Whether if that mic is actually on or not. I'm on to you, Apple, and you too, Google.
I mean, I just want them to be able to make the poop wormholes a little bit faster, and pretty soon all of our poop will be going to a barn in the middle of Missouri.
Oh, it's in Missouri now. Okay.
There was. There's like a relatively old Family Guy bit where they're like in an alternate dimension where like technology has advanced so much that instead of going to the bathroom, they request a quote unquote poop removal, and it's just like teleported out of your body.
Ooh.
You all right there? You just thought about how that would actually feel?
Well, I don't know how that would feel. That's not a thing yet.
Well, well, would they replace it with a vacuum or with like air? If they replace it with air, then you got fart.
I was gonna say, what would not result in your colon like collapsing?
Probably, maybe like equal parts. Something has to go in there though, because if it's just a vacuum, it's gonna like clap in on itself, and that would cause everlasting colon damage.
Look here, Family Guy. We need you to explain yourself, okay?
I mean, also, hear me out. We just keep going to the bathroom like usual.
Okay.
And we don't work on the technology to zap the poop out of our stomachs.
So there's on the subject of poop. Apparently there's like bacteria in feces that's like really good for like your like colon and digestive, like your large intestine, your colon in that area.
Yep.
Some people don't have that. So how they get around that is they do almost quite literally a poop transplant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Gut flora is really crazy. Like, you are actually your own microbiome, and I think that is the coolest thing ever.
Yep.
Because, like, you're like, trust me, as somebody who's had stomach problems for a while, that is definitely something I've looked into, and it's really cool how like it works. Don't worry, it's not just like it's bend over, like, open wide. Dude.
No, it's not like that.
No, it's something completely different. But it's actually really, really cool how people can be born without good gut flora, and it just fricks them. That is like it's a really relatively new science too. But what's cool is that you can kind of call yourself your own little planet, because you have more like antimicrobial, or I'm sorry, you have more microbial cells like of little living creatures in you than you do your own cells, which is kind of freaking crazy.
Yeah. And here's the thing, it's less of just like poo going back up and more of it being like they extract what's needed from the feces, put it in a suppository, and then you take it that way.
I mean, I don't need to know the exact way of doing things, but
science is beautiful.
The reason I say that is because like the way it sounds on the surface, it just sounds like it's like we're gonna cut you open and place a turd inside you.
See, we need a bathroom expert. We need Tim on this podcast right now.
He's too busy streaming Mario RPG Randomizer right now. We had our chance and we didn't take it.
Dang it. We just need him to come here and say in the bathroom once, and we'll be just fine.
That's it, just
there
once.
You go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Yeah, sorry. Some people heard Bagel screaming earlier. He woke up from a nightmare. That's what that was just then.
Oh, poor thing.
He'd been running around all day. He finally came down here, fell asleep, and then out of nowhere he just went, but he was like still lying down on the ground, and he got up. He just kind of looked at me for a bit, realized where he was, and now he's gone back to sleep.
Is it bad that I'm imagining that bit from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure where Kakyoin wakes up from the nightmare?
Oh God,
I've not seen it. I wouldn't know.
Oh no, I think I'm confusing that with the baby one.
I think it is that episode, but he's waking up from like a nightmare and he's just screaming. Like I'm imagining Bagel with Kakyoin's voice.
Cap often sleeps upstairs next to me.
Yeah, Bagel, yeah.
And sometimes he'll be dreaming and he'll be twitching, and every once in a while I'll know he'll have a nightmare because he'll hiss in his sleep. Oh. And he almost never hisses otherwise. It's super, super rare, but occasionally in his little kitty dream, he's sitting there twitching, and all of a sudden he'll just hiss randomly, and I'll turn and I'll be like, "What's going on, buddy?" And I'll just kind of slowly wake him up, and he always looks like, "Whoa, what happened? Where was I?" And I'm like, "It's okay." Then he falls back asleep.
Manatee will sometimes when he sleeps, it'll just randomly. Maybe sometimes I'll hear him like moving, like his paws twitching or whatever. He'll move around, but occasionally he'll go. And it's like man, it's so cute. And I would try to take a video of it, but the second I move, he wakes up.
Ladybug does that too. Like she'll be laying on the couch, she'll be completely asleep, and then she'll just start like. Her mouth will start moving a little bit, like that, but then she'll start like running in place. It is the most adorable thing.
Like a while ago, there was like this really old video of like a dog who was like running in their sleep. And then like the dog like, I think the dog like woke up but was still kind of like half asleep because they got up and then ran into a wall.
Oh, I've seen that video. Yeah, because
Yeah.
doesn't he like bite at the air for a second and then he like jumps.
Yeah, he like bites in the air, jumps, and then just like runs into a wall.
Yeah, I know that exact video you're talking about too.
Animals are beautiful.
Animals are beautiful, just like science.
Agreed.
Correct. Just like science.
Ah, yes, the most beautiful thing, science.
Manatee had a bath today. Last time I tried bathing him in the bathtub, and he clawed at my arm really bad. So this time I just took him into the standing shower because it has a detachable shower head, and he was just as miserable, but he was a lot more manageable.
He's not tearing you apart, but he's not happy.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I got to do it because the breed is so susceptible to skin infections that, like, you know, once a month I got to get him in there with with shampoo.
I mean, you know, animal gotta get clean.
Yep.
Tom, I gotta know.
Yeah.
How have you survived having had a puppy? Like how are you still a functioning human being taking care of your puppy by yourself?
It's been difficult, but the little guy is fairly smart in both good ways and bad ways. So like he kind of understands very quickly when I have to go out somewhere. He's like, okay, I'm either going to take a nap or I'm going to entertain myself in some way. And sometimes that involves jumping up in the bed and pulling the pillows down. Or if I leave the bathroom door open, just tearing through a roll of toilet paper, because that's like his favorite toy besides the vacuum. But pretty much like if I wake up early enough, you know, like I'll go to the gym, I'll come home, and then he and I will go to the park for like an hour or two, and then that's enough to wipe him out. I'll come home, stream or record or whatever, and then because most of my recent vlogs have been me and him at the park, and that's why, because it's just such an easy way to get him to chill out, because he plays with like every other dog there.
Gotta wear out that BPE.
Yep. BPE shirt coming soon.
Nice.
We've been dealing with Kepler having extreme separation anxiety from me. I mean, we've been dealing with that ever since Sagan passed away. But recently, Kep had some stomach issues, and we had to change his food up. And when we changed his food up, he was on a completely different food, and I just wanted to make sure he was eating. So I abandoned his food schedule because I was worried that he wasn't getting enough food because the calories were completely different. So I started feeding him whenever he wanted. And that led to some problems because, you know, I was so concerned about him because he was sick. You know, he would wake me up at 5 in the morning and be like, hey. And I'd be like, hey, buddy, I'm going to feed you, man. I'm going to take care of you, bud. And he's like, cool, thank you, father. And he speaks English. So I got up and I would feed him. And, the good news is we got his blood work back, and he had pancreatitis. He got over that. Everything worked. The problem is I untrained him. You know, the cat is 9 years old and has been trained to be good at night. We've always allowed him in our room to sleep on our bed, and everything's been fine. But now, in the middle of the night, he's like, Father, I require sustenance. And I'm like, no, you don't, honey. And he's like, no, I do. I do. It is very important. And if I don't get it, I am going to start misbehaving. So Mao and I made the decision that we were going to not allow him into the room anymore. And that is a transition because the cat can scream. A lot of people don't know cats can scream. Ooh, cats can scream. And the funny thing about cats is that they can do it forever. I don't know what sort of energy is within them to enable them to scream forever, but I swear to God, they can do it. And to give you an example, for the last 2 weeks or whatever, we've slowly been trying to transition Kepler to being okay with being outside of the bedroom with the door closed at night. And every night there is some period of time, sometimes 4 hours, that he screams. And I picked a bad time to do this because I've actually been dealing with an ear infection. So I bought some earplugs, but I can't use them because I don't want to irritate that. So I just lay in bed and just stare at the ceiling until he stops. So that's been entertaining. And
Now-
it actually was getting okay, like it was kind of calming down. And then Emil came to visit, and I don't know what it was about that, if that was just like something new that upset his flow. But Emil was screaming. Emil was not screaming.
No, he normally does that. You're right. It was Emil.
And not that Emil is incapable of it, but Emil was not screaming this time.
Kepler decided, for whatever reason, that like he was going to start earlier in the evening and like so like last night, for instance, he got started at 4 a.m. and he screamed until 5:30, and like it was at that point we have this little clicker thing that makes a high-pitched noise to get the cat to stop doing things, and I hadn't been using it because I was like, I don't want to respond to him. I don't want to teach him that like if he's doing something that he gets some sort of response. But last night, after dealing with this for so long, I was like, I'm at my wit's end. So I did the clicker, and every time he would meow, I'd click, meow, click, meow, click. And within 60 seconds, he stopped. And I almost wanted to cry. I was laying there, and me and Mao were both awake, and I was like, is this it? Is this all it took? He screamed for 90 minutes, and after clicking him for 60 seconds, he just stopped. And I was like, well, now we know for next time. And I'm like, oh my God! Also, every morning, I've asked Emil, because I gave Emil some earplugs too. I was like, did you sleep all right? He's like, yeah. I was like, did you use the earplugs? He's like, no, I don't need them. I was like, so you haven't heard the cat screaming for hours? And he goes, nope. And I'm like, okay. All right. Well, I'm glad someone is sleeping soundly in the house.
So
He's got some selective hearing.
When you said that like he can scream indefinitely, my first thought wasn't that he was, screaming just for hours on end. My first thought was that he wasn't taking a breath.
Dude, he barely does.
It was just one constant meow throughout the night.
Meow.
And like, I feel so bad because he does have separation anxiety. Absolutely does. He is attached to the hip to me. I mean, he really loves me. But we have to try and solve some of that. And it was going pretty well over the past 2 weeks. Like, there had been progress. And then, I don't know, when Emil was here, nothing really changed for our sleep schedule. But I guess the house smelled different because someone new was in it, and he was just like, "Father, something is here. I don't know what it is. Please allow me into the room."
But I require food.
It's the only way I can defend us.
He's a good boy.
Manatee will wake me up in the middle of the night, and in what I thought was that he had to go out, but now I'm thinking he just doesn't like it when I snore.
That's possible.
I tested this because like I sat downstairs with him like wide awake. I was sitting there. I was clearly awake, and I just started like pretending to snore and what I assume that I snore like. And he would start whimpering at me. And usually when he starts whimpering at me while I'm sleeping, I wake up and I'm like, okay, you need to go out, buddy. Just give me a second. And I'll get up and do it. So like I start like doing the snoring. He starts whimpering just like he does when I'm trying to sleep. So I think he just doesn't like me snoring.
I mean, yeah, maybe. He doesn't know what that sound is, and he don't like it. But that ain't his daddy.
All right, cat owners here. Have your cats ever put their paw in your mouth while you're sleeping?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manatee hasn't done that. He's come close, though.
When I was a kid, one of our cats I used to like lie in bed and listen to music and like sing a little bit because I was in the basement, and one of my cats would just sit on me, trying to make me stop, and then would just slam my paw and like, okay, no, you're done. Stop singing. And
You're done.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what it is about cats and sleeping, but we've always had issues. Like, even Bagel has been a butt lately. Reese and I are on completely different sleep schedules, basically. She'll go to bed at, like, midnight, and I'll go to bed at, like, 4 a.m. Like, that. There's a big gap there right now. And the cat's on both of our sleep schedules, if that makes sense. He'll come to bed with me, but he'll wake up when Reese wakes up. But the problem is right now, when we go into the room, like I'll try to sneak in quietly so I don't wake up Reese because she's a light sleeper. And the cat instead will jump on the bed, walk right up to Reese's face and just go, "Murr? Murr?" Like he will on purpose walk up to her and be like, "Yo, you awake? Hey, mom. And then he'll go down, eat some crunchies, get back up on the bed. He'll walk up the middle of the bed. He'll let me like pet him for a second, and then he will immediately go and step on her pillow.
Hello?
John?
What?
John?
What?
You stopped at eat some crunchies. At least on our end.
Weird.
All right. Well, okay. The only reason I heard that was because I had the stream on. We can't hear you through Discord anymore, John.
Oh! Cool. Let me fix that for you guys watching. How did the call go? Tell us about your experience. Bad. Hi, let's try that again.
There we go.
Hey, it's John. How were the crunchies?
They were delicious.
That's the last we heard. He would go to get some crunchies and...
He would go get some crunchies, he would jump up back on the bed, and then he would walk up the middle, let me pet him for like a second or two, then he would immediately go over to Reese and just stomp all over her pillow. He'll just like jump all over it, meow a bunch, lie down in front of her, and then eventually get back up and then lie down on top of her pillow and wrap his body around her head.
Jesus.
He won't do this to me. He will not do this to me, only to Reese. So, of course, she gets woken up because the cat's doing all this.
Yeah, Kepler, even though me and Mal feed Kepler 50-50, Kepler is unaware that Mallory has ever fed him in his life. And it is infuriating to me because Mal and I can be in the same room and Kepler 100% of the time will walk up to me and be like, hey, man, can I get some of that food? And I'm like, buddy, right here, she also is capable. If I'm on the other side of the house and Mallory is in the kitchen next to his food, Kepler will find me. He will come upstairs and be like, hey, man, can I eat some food? And I was like, Mal, will you feed the cat? And then, Mal will get his food, and then he'll be like, oh, I hear food. And then Mal will feed the cat, which she does 50% of the time, and Kepler forgets. And it really sucks because one of the issues that we've had with the sleeping thing, and why I finally had to kick him out, is that he's not waking up Mallory. He's only waking up me. When he has to eat or wants attention or whatever, he doesn't wake her up. He only wakes me up. And it's terrible. And he knows exactly how to do it. Because I keep my glasses on my nightstand, and every time he wants to wake me up, he'll walk in there and he'll start biting the glasses so they rattle on the wood. And then I wake up and he's just staring at me with big eyes like, hey, this works every time, doesn't it?
Wow.
That is why he's outside now.
Blue is really funny because like he has kind of like cut up the responsibilities 50-50 for me and Erica. So Erica is feed and relax, and I am play, and frickin' play. Like, it's all he wants. Like, what he'll do is, like, he'll wake us up in the morning sometimes. Like, he will jump on me, stand directly on top of me or Erica, and just meow. Just meow right in our faces. Just because he's like, he doesn't even really want to eat anything. He just wants his shower. Like, as I've said before on cast, Blue will go underneath the faucet and then try to catch the water as it falls off of his head. So whenever Erica is feeding Ladybug in the morning, Blue's taken that as his shower time. So he, like, Ladybug doesn't care. Ladybug is just asleep, but he's like, I want a shower. Meow, 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 I want a shower, please. Shower, please. It's just like, oh my God. He drives me nuts with that. But what's funny about him is that he will never come to me for food, period. It's only Erica. And whenever he wants to play, like, we'll be sitting down in the den on the couch, and he has this little stick with a mouse on the end of it that we play with, right? He will stand there looking directly at me and just be like, meow, meow. And that just means play. And then if I don't play with him, if the thing is on the floor, he will look up at me with his eyes big and just paw at the stick. And just try to, like, act like he's playing with himself just to try and make me jealous. And I'm like, oh my God. So, like, luckily he wakes us up sometimes, but my God, sometimes he just gets in, he gets in these little, like, super cuddly moods where he will just curl up underneath Erica's blanket and fall asleep with us. But that is like 20% of the time. The rest of the time, it's basically like Kepler, where he's just like, hey, Hey, notice me, you know. But yeah, that cat's a good cat.
But animals are beautiful.
They're beautiful, but man, they don't want you to sleep.
They really don't, man. Good God, I miss sleep.
I really didn't have a problem until April. And he got his tummy issue and we had to change his food. That is when my trouble really began. But God, it's been a journey trying to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and I understand the sleepy time podcast feel because I have not really had enough sleep in the last few weeks. But I just, I had to bring some high energy, mostly to psych myself up for when I sleep tonight.
You're psyching yourself up for sleep?
I'm psyching myself up now, so I wear myself out to help the melatonin that I'm about to pop right when the show is over, so I can get some Z's, John.
See, I don't have any problem sleeping. I have the problem of everyone trying to make sure I don't sleep is the other opposite problem. Like, I already slept for like 2 hours as a nap today. Because I was just like, all right, cool, we've run errands. I got like no sleep because the doorbell kept ringing and Bagel was being a butt and all this. And I'm just like, I'll get like a little rest. I'll probably relax. Maybe I'll play a game or something and I'm relaxed on the couch. Nope, unconscious. 2 hours. I woke up halfway through. I'm like, I should probably set an alarm in case I sleep through disc only. And then I went right back to sleep for like another hour. And then my alarm went off and actually startled me awake enough to actually be here for the show.
You know what's funny about sleep is like, you don't want to go to bed. You don't want to wake up. But whenever you're freaking asleep, though, you're just like, don't bother me. Like, I love sleep after I am asleep, if that makes sense. It's like, it's weird because I hate going to bed. I want to play games. I want to do stuff. And then I hate waking up because now I'm relaxed and I don't want to get up. But whenever you're asleep, it's glorious, you know?
Jared, you're not supposed to realize you're asleep. Are you actually sleeping or are you just pretending to be asleep?
No, I'm asleep, and trust me.
No. This is Jared every night. I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping. I scared Manatee with that.
That's the everything's okay alarm.
I've actually, like, you. Speaking of that, I've actually been trying to learn how to lucid dream myself, like just a little bit. I keep like a sleep journal and everything now, and it's been really cool. Like a dream journal, because you kind of like figure out the things. Anytime I'm at school, if I'm at school in my dream and I'm freaking out because I gotta freaking do a report or something, because I have nightmares about school because I hated school growing up. If I'm at school, I'm lucid dreaming, and then I can kind of control what I'm doing a little bit. I've never had a full lucid dream experience, but I've had little ones, like little tiny bite-sized lucid dreams. And it's always, I'm either at school or I'm streaming and something in a very strange atmosphere. I'll be playing drums in the snow, or like I'll be, instead of playing the drum kit, I'll be smacking my bedside table and saying thank you for the bits. It's like a really weird way of doing things in my dreams. I don't know why, but now I'm trying to figure out how to get those tells so that I can actually control it, because I've never had one and I really want to.
See, I have like something similar. Like, I always have the school dream too. Like, it's always like, oh shoot, I forgot to study for this exam. I forgot to get this this project ready, etc. But every time I will always realize that it's a dream, and it ends the exact same way. Like, if you're like, wait, I haven't been out of school for over a decade. Oh god damn it! And then immediately I'm awake. Dude. I literally get so angry I wake myself up.
The school dream is so common from everyone I talk to. That's like one of their biggest anxiety-filled dreams. And I never have school dreams. In fact, I had what I think is probably one of my first ones that I've had in many, many, many years, a few months back. And like, it took place in a school, but it had nothing to do with school. It was definitely a pee dream. Did you have pee dreams, right? You get a pee dream?
Yeah, dude. Where it's like you just have to go to the bathroom so bad.
Yeah, where you physically have to pee.
Yeah.
And your brain creates this story of like, you gotta pee, and it's because you really gotta pee.
Yeah, I had that once, like recognizably a long time ago. Never have the school dream though.
No, I've never had the pee dream. I guess maybe I have the school dream instead. I don't know.
So,
Well, John, do you pee before bed regularly? I mean, like do you have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom ever?
Usually not, because I pee right before I go to bed.
Okay. So like I'm a usually like a one pee in the middle of the night guy. I wish I wasn't, and sometimes thankfully I'm not. But usually sometime middle of the night, it's like 4 o'clock, I'm like, I gotta get up and pee. I get up and pee, and like it's one of those things like, and anyone that's like this knows how it is. Like you're kind of keeping your eyes only 20% open. You're shuffling to the bathroom. You don't turn on any lights because you got to keep the sleep. So like you put your pants down, you sit on the toilet, and you're like, all right, just don't think about anything. Just pee and stumble back into bed so you can fall back asleep. Because it's true. If you are up for more than like 2 minutes, then your brain's like, well, you know what? We could give it an early start. It's like 4:15.
Yeah. So what I've always found that with those dreams, it's either one thing or the other. You either need to go really bad or you just go forever. And it's very strange. Like, it's a really weird thought process. And it was funny because Popsky actually said that in the chat a minute ago, and I'm like, holy frick, you're right. Like, it's either one of those other, one or the other. I don't know about the number 2 dreams. I've never had that before.
I miss when I used to have like all these crazy dreams. As a kid, I used to just have like the weirdest dreams, but I would always remember them all like pretty vividly. I still remember a bunch of them.
Yeah, I could go for it.
Yeah, but like I think it might have just been university just messed me up to a point where like now that's all I have. Now it's just the school dream. I think that's what it is.
It's almost like I say to people, the reason why I have school nightmares is because school was the most anxiety and fricked up couple years of my life, because like it's just like they were very like I had like 11th and 12th grade were perfectly fine. Everything before that, after 5th grade, was kind of like because I don't really remember anything before like 5th grade and whatnot. I remember like bits and pieces, but God, after I got out of 5th grade and I went to a different school, oh man, that was horrible. So I dream about that crap all the time, but now I'm using it to my advantage, because anytime I'm in school, I'm like, I might be dreaming. I am dreaming. Oh, that's cool. And then I start flying or something like that. But what's funny is I can right now I can only stay lucid for like maybe like a couple seconds. And then what's weird is once you figure it out, you can tell you're going to drop out of a lucid dream by your vision going white in the dream, and then you wake up. And what you want to do is you want to not let your vision go white, and you can continue controlling what you're doing. I'm not good at that yet. I'm still trying to figure that out.
You wake up though, like
I wake up.
If you fail the lucid dream, you do wake up.
Yeah, I wake up for a moment and I fall back asleep, which is my MO.
Here's my issue. Lucid dreaming sounds cool on paper, and we were talking about this recently in a breakfast stream. It sounds cool, but it sounds a hell of a lot like a part-time job, where like you gotta like figure this out. And that I'm over that. I'm like, nah, I want to go to sleep, and I just want to sleep. It would be super cool if I could control my dreams, but I'm like, that sounds like so much effort. I will attest to how important a dream journal can be, though, because I think that's cool, and I did that for a while. The problem is I have an issue now where like it's hard to do it with a partner, because I wake up now if I'm trying to write, because I can't type it out on the phone. I got to write. Yeah. But in when we were in college, me and Dan actually took a class together. We took a psychology class, and part of the assignment was to keep a dream journal. And in retrospect, it was a little weird because I don't know how much it had to do with anything, and also she wanted to read all of them, and she did.
That's weird, but I mean the idea behind it is really cool.
But yeah, it got me to do it for the first time, and I did it for quite a while, and it was really cool. And you actually do start to remember your dreams better, and you realize how messed up you are.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, dude. Like some of oh man, do I have my dream journal up anywhere? Oh, I do.
Dan's journal was a Hannah Montana journal.
Amazing.
Yeah,
perfect.
Dude. So
glamorous.
Like, dream world and real world. He's getting the best of both worlds.
Oh my God.
I'm applauding you. I don't know if my mic's picking it up.
But... So like what I usually do is I wake up and I will just type it on my phone. Now, all right, my mind was blown about 2 weeks ago with a life hack. Are y'all ready for this? All right. So recently I use Discord a lot. Like we're using Discord right now, right? So I saw this. I saw
Good
this on
example.
I saw this on Twitter, and they're like, "Do you have trouble like keeping track of things or like being organized? Create a Discord server for you and you alone, and create different text channels for yourself, like to-do list, your hobbies, your things like that, tracking stuff. So like right now, I'm looking at my Discord server that I have for myself, and I have workout tracking, dream journal, food journal, hobbies, art stuff, music stuff, stream stuff, writing stuff, and then I have text channels for regular stuff like thoughts and random crap, my to-do list, and prayers and study. And it is the best life hack I have ever seen. And I've been using it like religiously recently, and it is so good, dude. I recommend everybody give it a try.
I actually do something very, very similar, but I use the Notes app within the Apple ecosystem, so I can, if I come up with something on my phone, I write it down, and then it's already on my Mac, and then I can, cross-reference all that stuff. But yeah, I do the same thing. It is extremely helpful.
Yep, I used to do that with the Notes app, but because of the fact that I have like a Windows PC, I can just go back and forth from Discord from Windows to my phone, and it's a lot simpler that way for me. But I used to do the same exact thing, and you can actually sync it with other people in your household too, which is kind of cool. Like we use the calendar stuff for syncing back and forth with me and Erica, and we used to do like notes for that. But the Discord thing has blown my freaking mind, dude. I love that. I'm sharing this with everyone that I can.
Yeah, no, I've always found like the Notes app and just the calendar have helped me a bunch. Mm-hmm. Since I keep adding more and more to my plate lately, I've been like, okay, I need to actually stay organized and remember when things are. But I feel like as a result, I've had this weird side effect of like becoming more forgetful, if that makes sense. Because usually I would just remember everything, and if I forgot something, all right, whatever, it probably wasn't that important. But now that I write everything down, I'm like, am I supposed to do something today? Like, it feels like that part of my brain that shut off. Like, remember when you used to have to remember other people's phone numbers?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, and now you just save it in your phone. Like, as a result, I don't mentally remember phone numbers anymore, except for like mine and my wife's. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's just like, well, my brain doesn't need that space anymore. Let's clean it up.
You probably got 2 or 3 childhood numbers that you can't get rid of, and they're stuck in your head.
Correct.
Yeah, I wish it weren't the case, but
1-800-255-3700, I believe, is still one of them.
That's Nintendo.
That's Nintendo. See?
My parents' cell phone numbers I still remember. And I usually dial them instead of going into my contacts list.
Dude, there's a really weird. Go ahead.
Or I use the murderous robot in my phone.
Oh my God!
I can remember my childhood friend's home phone number, which I haven't had to call since I was like 6. But I remember. I probably knew it better than my own number because that's the one that I called. And I don't know. You can't force your brain to empty that. Your brain's not quite like a computer where you can go, I don't need this information anymore. And I'm worried that someday, it's gonna ask me for my social, and I'm gonna write my childhood friend's phone number, and I'm gonna be like, oh shoot, that's all I got.
Someday you're gonna have an internal mouse that can like click and drag across a bunch of files and drag them over to a recycle bin.
Dude,
I mean, I'd be fine with that.
I had going back to like dreams and whatnot. I had a really, really weird. I had 2 weird nightmares last night. One was definitely weird. The other. The first one was more like a horror movie situation where it's just like, it's like a mind control parasite in my house, and I'm just defending myself against it. Not a lot of like story there, but it was scary nonetheless. The second one was more of like social anxiety based, because there were, how do I even go about explaining this? There were 2 dragons. One was called Mad Dragon. The other one was called Ad Dragon. Mad Dragon was like a destructive dragon that was causing all sorts of things. Ad Dragon was Martha Stewart in dragon form. and my mom was like hanging out with her and like trying to like, prove her innocence. Like, because she was being blamed for all of Mad Dragon's stuff. And apparently, like, I went on the news to like discuss this whole thing. This news organization was trying to like smear Ad Dragon. Was like trying to like drag my mom's name through the mud, and like, you know, I was trying to defend her, but apparently that news organization took what I said and like twisted it. So apparently I said something really insulting about my mother, and she came up to me while I was like on a bus riding on the back of Martha Stewart as a dragon, and was like yelling at me, and was like refused to come home and just flew off with Martha Stewart.
It's shocking how unshocked I am about the Martha Stewart dragon connection, as if I too have had a similar dream at some point.
No, it just seems
Because you're
believable.
Did you have a similar dream?
Okay, Dan got me. It's an old vlog. Yeah, there's an old vlog that I titled "Tony Hawk turns into a dragon and fights Martha Stewart with a torch."
That sounds badass.
Oh my god,
Dude, y'all are connected. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Thank you, Dan. Dan's got my back.
Holy crap.
Maybe that's that. I was like, man, Martha Stewart dragon. That's just a normal thing. And then the other part of my brain's like, it's not, and you need help. And then the other part's like, no, I think maybe, possibly.
So
I have not seen that. I have not seen that vlog.
Then we truly are on the same wavelength. It's great.
Amazing. What's everyone's favorite dream that they remember?
Oh. All right, I got one. Okay. So, I can't remember the exact details of it, but I remember that it was kind of a feudal era Japan, samurai, all that type of stuff, right? But it was really anime-ish because of the fact I actually had like ice abilities, and I remember skating across a like an unfrozen lake, but everywhere that I stepped became ice, so I could actually skate, like kind of like Frozone from The Incredibles. But like I had superpowers the entire dream through. It wasn't lucid, but my god, it was so cool. Like me and I think even Erica was in it. She actually had fire abilities in it. So, you know, went together perfectly. But it was really cool because we would like go and fight battles together and stuff. But the main thing I remember is having the ice ability, and then I was skating over like this just gigantic lake, and it was the coolest freaking thing. I loved it. That is my favorite dream I think I've had in recent memory that I can actually remember. Jared is Elsa confirmed. Thank you, chat.
Aside from the two dreams I had last night, the only dream I can even remember is one where I was part of the Scooby-Doo gang. I must have been like 6 when I had this dream. I was part of the Scooby-Doo gang, and we were hunting down this dude who was dressed like Cupid firing arrows at people. That's all I can say is my favorite dream, because the two from last night were like I was like mad and scared in those dreams, whereas the Scooby-Doo one, it was like, oh, this is a weird adventure. And on top of that, the dude dressed as Cupid was only wearing a diaper and angel wings, so that was really weird.
Well, no, that's just the old like interpretation of cherubs.
Yeah.
There's so many people in chat just saying the Few Liberties dream, which is a great dream. I may have even told that on Disc Only before, but the quick version is I had a dream once where, for whatever reason, I was too busy to do Morning Mario, and I asked Tom, I was like, Tom, could you take care of recording Morning Mario? And Tom goes, yeah, man, I got you. And then Tom gives me this video file like 2 days later, and it's Tom in snowboarding gear on the slopes, and is like, I'm going to teach you guys how to do snowboarding. And I'm watching this video file, and I'm like, so I send Tom a message. I'm like, Tom, hey man, you didn't play Mario. And he goes, well, I took a few liberties. And I was like, okay, but like, I appreciate what you've done. You've clearly tried to help out, but like, you did miss the mark a little bit. And Tom's like, I just took a few liberties.
Like I was getting offended by the fact that he didn't like my Morning Mario video.
Yeah, like it had nothing to do with Mario, but he still tried to help me, but it was unrelated completely.
I'm just gonna
And
say that next time I do something wrong.
Like, I don't know that that's my favorite dream, but like it's a great one, and
It's up there. It is
it's
up
pretty
there.
up there. I had a dream once, and I think this was the beginning of last year. I shared it on a breakfast stream. I don't know exactly when it was, but I was in Danny DeVito's house.
All right.
I heard this story on breakfast stream. Oh my god!
I was in Danny DeVito's house, and I forget the specifics because it's been a while since I thought of this story, but I had something to do with his Blu-ray player. I think I was a maid in his house, and I was doing something. He had a Blu-ray player, and I just really wanted to like see what he was watching or something. So I clicked the Blu-ray player, and the disc comes out or whatever, and I'm like, okay. So I go to put it back in, and it won't go back in. And I remember having this just horrible feeling of like, oh my god, Danny DeVito is going to know that I messed with his Blu-ray player. And then all of a sudden, I hear Danny DeVito coming down the hallway, and I'm like, I've got to get out of here. So I start like making my way out of the house, and I'm walking down this long hallway. And as I'm walking this hallway, I look into each room that I'm passing. Every single room is filled, every wall, with china cabinets. Just glass china cabinets. That's the only thing Danny DeVito owns. Every single room. And Danny DeVito, I can hear him way in the back, start screaming. He grabs a baseball bat and walks into the first room and starts destroying all of his china cabinets. And I just am thinking, oh my god, I've got to get out of here. Danny DeVito is destroying all of his china cabinets. He's going to kill me. And that's how I woke up, is he was just going into each room, destroying all of his stuff.
Holy crap.
It was great. It was a fantastic dream.
That sounds like an amazing dream. Holy shit.
I also this sounds like a Sims house. Like you were like the hired help in somebody's game of The Sims where they had Danny DeVito as a hothead. And you broke his Blu-ray player and he didn't have the mechanical skill to fix it, so he got mad.
My favorite part of the dream is that it doesn't really seem that far-fetched to like me in reality. I'm like, you know what? I can kind of see it. Danny DeVito.
I would apply to be a maid at Danny DeVito's house. I would break Danny DeVito's Blu-ray player. Danny DeVito would only own china cabinets.
Nothing seems that crazy.
I feel like you just
believe it.
described an episode of It's Always Sunny, honestly.
Yeah, and I've never seen the show. I mean, I'm familiar with the show because of pop culture, but I've never seen the show.
So someone in the chat said, so anyway, he started smashing.
Oh man. Yeah,
Yep.
I really like that dream.
Yeah, man, you all have some amazing dreams. I don't know why. I had 4 reoccurring dreams that would always happen when I was growing up. There was the falling dream, there was the swimming pool dream, there was the chicken family dream, and there was the FBI agent at McDonald's dream.
It's a very specific recurring dream.
Yeah, no, they were all very specific. The falling dream was what you expect. It's like, the dream that everyone says they have at some point, like, you're falling and you're falling towards the ground, but you don't have a parachute or anything. And it's one of those dreams where they say, like, if you hit the ground, like, you supposedly die in the dream. Or you die in real life. Like, it's like a symbolism in your brain for that. But every time I would come close to the ground, something would happen to save me. Like, I would have a parachute and just kind of glide away. I would have, like, a drill, and I would literally drill through the cliff I was about to hit and then get through the other side and keep falling, which apparently just led to another, like, giant pit I was falling towards.
Straight up Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, the swimming pool dream, I'm not going to describe in full detail, but the TLDR is Rosa John makes a lot more sense once I realized I remembered that dream.
Thank you for sharing, Jonathan.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. The chicken family dream. Sorry, the cat's screaming a bunch. No, it's not like a wet dream. It's just literally like, it's like, oh wow, okay, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. It was like the swimming pool we used to go to as a kid had this hidden like window in the bottom. Like anytime we went swimming there, I always saw it. And I used to, like, my goal was to try to look in there and see where it led to. And I think it actually led to the laundry room where, like, they washed, like, stuff for, like swimming outfits and stuff like that. But in the dream, it led to, like, this weird, like, white room. That's the only way to describe it. It's like you enter the room, and it's a white room. And the only thing that was in there was a copy of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. So I'm like, okay, this is weird, but all right. So I walk in the room and touch it, and then suddenly I am one of the characters from the game. And I'm like, okay, this is really fucking weird. How do I get back to normal? And then, like, the room shoots me out back into the pool. So now I have to figure out, I'm back in the pool. No one is there. Like, the lights are off. It is pitch black. No one is in the building. I am a completely different body. I'm like, what do? I try to break back into like the men's changing room, but it's locked. So I have to go into the girls' changing room. There's again no one in the building. The same numbered locker responds to the key that's on my outfit, and I'm just like, okay, well, this is just everything now. So I deal with that. Like, I get changed and try to leave the building, but the more I try to leave the building, the bigger I got. Again, this is why it makes sense to Rosa John, and that just kept repeating ad nauseum. So I'm like, oh, this explains a lot now that I've remembered this dream.
Wow.
Yeah. And was it the other two? The chicken family one was the weirdest one that reoccurred. Well, not really. The FBI dream's weirder. But the chicken family was this family of farmers. They were, I think it's chicken. It might have been turkeys. I forget. And they owed money to like a landlord, and they couldn't actually like pay the money they owed. So the farmer, the father of the family, offered himself as turkey dinner to the person to actually pay for the debt. And it turns out the debt was just $1.69. And yeah, just the farmer
Nice.
farmer turkey just offered himself for dinner to pay $1.69 debt that they couldn't repay, and then that's it. That was the dream.
Jesus.
But the fourth one is my favorite one. The FBI agent at McDonald's, because in that one, there's a conspiracy that McDonald's that adults are disappearing at McDonald's. And no one knows why, but it turns out the FBI is aware. And it's weird that's the FBI, considering I'm Canadian. But so it turns out what McDonald's has been doing is been taking adults and you know, like in the old play places, these have like all these slides and tunnels and everything you would go through.
Yeah.
They would put adults in the tunnels, and when they went in the tunnel, they were transformed into children. So there was a secret base under McDonald's where all these adults were turned into children. And then McDonald's re-raised them into adults to make them constantly purchase like McDonald's food and all the products that McDonald's Corporation wanted them to buy. So this FBI agent has to go undercover as someone who's been turned into a baby to actually get inside this underground base that they're running and try to stop it. And it gets a little hazy in the middle of the dream because I remember like the FBI agent, when he turns into a baby, is still wearing a black suit and sunglasses. And then the end of the dream I always vividly remember because it's him flying an F-15 out of the tunnels to like as it's blowing up behind him as he is trying to like stop this McDonald's master plan. So it's literally him as a baby piloting an F-15 or 16 just through McDonald's place tunnels.
Gee, first off, that sounds awesome. That sounds like I love those like those movies where it's like they gotta fly through like a very narrow passage, and that sounds really cool. Except the fact that it's all like bright red and yellow colored plastic.
I can't tell if your screenwriting professor would love you or hate you. One of the two, definitely not both.
As a film major, you would know. Have you guys had teeth losing dreams?
No, maybe. I think I've had one.
I have, but I don't like thinking about them.
Well, okay, so it scares you.
It really does, yeah.
Okay, I've had like it scares me more that I've had those dreams, and I'm just like, well, that's inconvenient, and that's it. That's it. Like in the dream, I'll like all my teeth will fall out, like, and they'll be like super loose and they'll fall out, and then I'm just like, well, oh damn it, come on. Like I'm inconvenienced. I'm not scared by it. I'm not like freaked out by it. I'm just inconvenienced.
Oh darn.
That might bode well in the future. If the dentist gives you bad news, you'll be like, well, shucks.
I did have one falling dream. It started off as I can't really tell if it's a flying dream or a falling dream, because it was a flying dream where I was flying around like my childhood neighborhood, or really just the yard, and then I was looking at the ground while I was flying, and then I realized that I wasn't falling. I was still flying, but I was like angling myself just towards the ground, and I couldn't stop. And I slammed into the ground. That's when I woke up.
Oh, you actually hit the ground in the dream.
Yeah.
Weird. That was like the one thing that that never happened in mine. Like the closest I ever came was one time, like I'm falling, and then what can only be described as the camera falls and hits the ground, but you see me like hang gliding away and going like, "Yeah, this rules."
That's a third person perspective for you, though, right?
No, I can't. Yeah, no. A lot of my dreams, I'm either physically not in them, or they're third person. It's very rare. Like out of those 4 dreams I just told you, like only 2 of them are first person to me, and even sometimes the falling one was third person. And I think even like the swimming pool one sometimes wasn't me; it was someone else completely. Like it just very rarely am I the focus of my own dreams.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very rare that I have a first-person dream. Like it's usually third. Like I'm watching from like a over-the-shoulder camera view. It's really strange how that works out. I actually had a conversation about that on Cast the other day, where it's like in your not necessarily in your memories, but I'm sorry, in your dreams, but in your memories, do you feel like a lot of your memories are third person as well? Like you can kind of see what you're doing in your memories. And like it was a really good conversation.
Yeah, I would say a lot of my memories I remember in third person. But like I said, like even some of my dreams, I'm just not in them. I'm a cameraman. Like I'm just experiencing things happening.
I see people in chat. I'm not a physical
person.
I see people in chat talking about dreams where they've died, but they've come back as a ghost. So like, I guess in kind of like the vein that you were talking about, John, where it's like if you hit the ground in the dream, then you would theoretically die in real life. I guess like in terms of those dreams where they die and come back as a ghost, the self isn't dying, just the physical body.
John's recurring falling dream made me remember that when I was younger, I had a recurring falling dream as well. My mom, for many, many, many years, worked at a resort, and I spent a lot of summers at that resort. There was a pool in the back because it was a big, nice area, and I spent a lot of time while she was working, just chilling, at the pool and exploring the facilities and stuff. And I had this dream a lot when I was younger that I had made my way up to the top of the roof, and I had fallen off of the roof, and I could see the pool below me, and I was always falling towards the pool. However, my concern was not I was falling and I was going to die. My concern was, for one, I couldn't swim, which I could, but I never liked deep water. And number 2, and this was the most pressing thing, I always had a Game Boy Color in my pocket. And there was such a concern that the Game Boy Color was going to get ruined because I was going to land in the pool. And I remember that feeling of falling and thinking, oh God, the Game Boy's going to get ruined. And then like I always woke up before I hit the pool. And that was apparently what my big concern was in the late 90s.
It's kind of funny that you say that, because when I was younger, probably like everybody here, I had a Game Boy Color. I left it out in the rain one time, and then and for a while it just there was like times where I was like, oh, it doesn't work, and I guess like maybe just like there was like a little while where it didn't work. And then I managed to get like all the water out of it, and I changed the batteries in. I was like, I'll just see if it works. It probably doesn't. Turned it on. It worked fine.
I wish I wish you would have told me that when I was a child, Tom. Would have changed the outcome of that dream.
Well, I left it out in the rain. I didn't submerge it in water.
That is like a weird thing that reoccurs in some of my dreams. Like I'm trying to protect an item. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very weird, but it's like I always like if I have something in my pocket, I'm always checking, and I'm always checking, making sure I didn't frick it up somehow. And like those dreams drive me nuts. But yeah, if you could say that one thing is your, I guess you would say your dream tell or like your dream trigger, like what do you think it would be? Like what is the one thing? Yeah, I knew you were going to bring that up. We've come full circle, but like what is the one thing? For me, it would be the school. Like that's how I know that I'm dreaming if I'm out of school.
I
don't think I have I couldn't think of a tell, honestly.
My dreams are all over the place.
Because I think I did have one school dream where I did realize that I was dreaming and then like immediately woke up afterwards. But like I don't think I'd ever have like a tell. I think part of that is just where it's like I don't know like what in my subconscious is going on where I'm so invested in what's going on in the dream that I just kind of like lose all sense of self outside of the dream.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I know that I have experienced lucid dreaming before because I remember the fact that I have done it. I cannot tell you what the dream was, but I can remember that it's happened like twice, maybe in my whole life. So it's been a long, long time.
I'm sorry, I just saw the picture that John pulled up on the stream where it's Goosebumps, where it's a baby dressed in a suit, and the title is McTernity. Ooh, he's got a play date with Destiny.
It's good. For my dreams, there's definitely tells. Whenever it's the school dream, it's always the same 3 rooms. It's the exam room in university. It is one of my 500 level lecture classes that I would always, in real life, always fall asleep in because I was always so tired because I was working.
It's a tall building.
Because I think I was like 2 classes in. I'm just gonna ignore that, Tom. I'm sorry. I was working 2 jobs at that point, and then like bouncing a bunch of classes. I'm exhausted, so I used to always fall asleep in that class. And then it's either those 2 or it's my French class in high school because I took 2 courses a year in that class because we would do actual French, and then we would do either like history or geography in French. So that's also why I'm so bad at geography because I no longer remember any of it because it was in another language. But like those things. But then there's always, I don't know if you guys have this. There's a sound effect that if I hear it no matter what, it will instantly wake me up. No matter what, my brain knows like if it needs to wake me up, it will play this sound effect.
Do you hear it in the dream or do you hear it outside of it?
I'll hear it in the dream. My head will just play. I've heard this sound like even when I'm awake, and it just jars me awake. Like it's just a sound effect that I will hear in like perfect clarity that always elicits like a instantly awake response, and it is the sound of a train. It is the sound of a train coming towards me.
So is it like the train horn?
It's like the train whistle.
Doppler effect?
It's the train whistle. Okay, like the dur dur that noise.
Oh man,
that specific noise.
Where I lived in college.
See, I don't get why that sound is what jars me awake, because where I lived didn't have trains at all. We had there was like a train museum, but it literally was just like a no longer in use train, just kind of in like a little small park. It didn't have any sound effects or anything. I never heard like in person a real train, except for like in movies or anything like that, until I was like 18 and I moved up here to Calgary. So I don't know why that sound effect is always what jars me awake. But anytime if I'm falling asleep, if I hear that sound effect, and you know how sometimes you'll feel yourself drop, and then you'll jar yourself awake.
I hate that.
Instead of getting that drop, sometimes I get that train sound effect, and that jars me awake.
Huh.
That's so now that makes me curious. Mental trauma aside, like if you were to use that as like an alarm clock, I wonder if that would be like the perfect alarm clock.
I would throw
Or
my
if-
phone against the wall. It would be broken into pieces.
Okay, that's why I said psychological trauma aside. I'm wondering if it would be the perfect alarm clock, or if you would grow numb to it at some point.
John, what you're describing sounds very, very familiar to me. I think I know what you're experiencing because Mal gets the same thing. And as I'm saying this, she's texting me. You have exploding head syndrome.
What?
That's what that is. It's called exploding head syndrome. In fact, I've never heard about the train thing, but I just Googled it, and that's common. A train sound is common. Mal gets the shattering of like plates. Like she'll hear like someone just dropping a ton of plates onto concrete and the shattering, and it just jolts her awake. I get that occasionally too. Most of mine are aural, so I actually get like blinding white lights that'll suddenly wake me up. But apparently, a train sound is common, and that's what you're experiencing. It's exploding head syndrome.
Happens in about 10% of people.
Yeah.
Huh, that's nutty. The only thing that ever gets me is like in a dream I will open my eyes very wide to try and like wake myself up, I guess. Like it's only in like nightmares. I used to, oh my god. Y'all can ask Erica. I used to scream in my sleep. Like actually scream in my sleep because of my nightmares. Luckily, after doing this dreaming journal, I don't really get them that much anymore, so that's wonderful. But one thing I would do in order to wake myself up is I would try to force my eyes open as big as they can go. And when I do that, everything that was coming after me like slunks away, like tries to get away from me. Like there's like a blinding light coming from like my eyes or something. It's like the craziest thing.
You're just shooting like a laser at
Yeah, I have like laser vision. It's like really crazy, but that's the only thing that can wake me up from a nightmare is me opening my eyes really big, like wake up, just freaking get up, you know. But yeah, that's crazy though. That I've never actually heard of exploding head syndrome.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
reading
Mal-
about this matches a lot. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is something that I have had a little bit over the years since I was younger, but Mal has had a lot. And when we started dating, that would be something that happened. She would just be jolted awake, and she explained, she's like, sometimes I just hear plates dropping. And I'm like, I've had that occasionally, but, my thing is that mine is both visual and aural. I'll see a flashing light, and I'll also hear this, like, loud pitch, like, nyeh! And, like, all of a sudden, it's like, it feels like, those, the neuralizer from Men in Black? It feels like someone flashed that in the room. But there's obviously it's pitch black.
Dude, it's funny that it sounds like that because I have an alert that sounds like that. It's the first note of the Ultra Instinct Goku theme from Dragon Ball
God.
Super.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that.
that's all I
drip
hear.
meme.
Yeah, that's all I heard whenever you did that was just like you're getting woken up by Goku drip, and it makes me very happy.
I hear that song and it makes me think of like I think it's Norfair from Super Metroid. So like
Yeah.
And because of the TRG Let's Play.
Oh god, so
I
you think
hear-
of television.
I was watching television.
See, I have it the opposite way around. Anytime I hear that song now, I hear Aladdin, the song. Still, I think he's rather dreamy. Because
Oh,
someone
God.
compared them. They're very similar in
Yeah,
tone.
they are.
Wow. Oh, now I'm never gonna unhear it. Oh, frick.
Still, I think he's rather tasty.
Holy crap, man, that's awesome.
So I looked up, because of this, I looked up exploding head syndrome on Wikipedia. I shout out to this line in the first paragraph. Despite the name, the sufferer's head does not actually explode.
I mean, you got it. You got to lead with that. You know, it's like in this day and age.
When Steven,
that we know of.
when Steven first brought up exploding head syndrome, I was gonna make a snarky comment about like, oh yeah, John gets angry.
Yeah, it's funny because when you were describing that, my brain was like, that kind of sounds like exploding head, but I've never heard about, the train thing. And then I I was like, exploding head syndrome train, and it came up, and I was like, that's it. That's what John's got.
Weird. So as a kid too, I had another thing, which I'm guessing it's part of that too. It was the reason my parents used to limit how much games I was playing, is because I was playing Donkey Kong for the Game Boy so much, I would hear the sound of Pauline screaming "help" because I've been playing it so much. But I would just hear that sound effect randomly. I think I would like my mom was driving me to school one day, and I was just like, "Did you hear that sound?" She's like, "No, what are you talking about?" Like I just heard like someone going like "help, help," and like then of course the logical assumption was, okay, you've been playing too many video games. You're only allowed an hour a day now. So
shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, pretty much. And it turns out that's a whole thing too. Like that's I forget what the name of it is, but it's common with Rock Band, Guitar Hero, and Tetris. It's where you see and hear patterns repeating, like when you close your eyes or like when you like tune out. It's the sound effects or the visualizations repeating, and I forget what exactly that's called. It's not like Synthonesia. But it's something akin to that. Oh, it actually is called the Tetris effect. It's just straight up called the Tetris effect.
It is called Tetris. I love the fact that they called Tetris effect that now. I had no idea that was a thing.
Actually,
but like,
Mal gets that too, so I don't know if there's some sort of brain chemistry that you both have, but yeah.
It's really cool though, because like I remember whenever I first started playing Pump It Up, I had only played DDR for like years. Like I'd never played Pump It Up before, but then an arcade opened in my hometown and I was able to play that. And for some reason, whenever I closed my eyes, all I saw were the Pump It Up notes. I never saw the DDR ones, but the diagonal notes were always in my vision. And I'm like, what the frick? Why is that the case? But
there was you had a case where the right angles of the arrows the diagonal arrows were just more appealing to your mind.
Huh, that's kind of cool to think about.
You look for angles and patterns. I'm making this up off the top of my head, by the way.
No, it would make sense though, because why wouldn't I have thought of anything else? But the funny thing is like, I love the fact that I've kind of made a career out of that. Like, because whenever I hear music, I don't see a like a Guitar Hero note track, right? But I can kind of see what is coming next for a lot of songs, just in like in a non-visual way. It's like I can kind of feel it. It's very strange, but I definitely think that I got a lot of that from playing like Guitar Hero, Rock Band, stuff like that, like possibly trying to expect what's coming next. Sight reading, if you were.
I vaguely recall having some slight issues with this around the time of GoldenEye. You know how whenever you take damage, or if you look at your watch, you have your health bar, which is like this gradient of rectangles. Yeah. I remember around the time of GoldenEye having issues where like I would see that, like just doing things like that would be in my like peripheral vision or whatever. I would see the GoldenEye health bar. And I've never thought about it ever since then, and I don't think I've ever experienced it with any other game, but I do remember playing a lot of GoldenEye, so maybe that was part of it.
Huh.
I was also, for when it came out, I was, I guess, young and impressionable, and it left that impression.
I mean, that makes sense.
So, I gotta talk about this real quick. John just pulled up that comic where it's like no fear, and then something on another shirt, and the shirt changes to one fear. And it's Jared wearing the no fear shirt. The other shirt is a picture of Steven from the beginning, and then Jared's shirt changes to one fear because of the beginning of the podcast. Now, Steven, would you ever consider just selling a shirt with that face on it?
Yes. Absolutely.
Dude, please do. Oh man.
I don't know what the market for that is, but
people who want to scare Jared.
Yeah, the scare Jared shirt.
Do
you have a
want to
Jared
scare
in your
Jared?
life? We can
I
scare
mean,
him.
so there's 20% Stevens now. Is there 20% Jared's? It's perfect for those.
There you
Balances
go.
out. 20% of Jared's are scared by 20% of Stevens.
Now that's a statistic that sounds real.
100% true 60% of the time.
You should always believe what you hear on the internet. George Washington said that.
Yeah, that's a famous thing he always talked about.
Someday
memes will be made about this boat ride we're on, gentlemen.
What's the old saying? Believe half of everything you see and none of what you hear.
Something like that.
Yes.
I don't believe that though.
I had to listen to it like 4 times. I had to replay what you said 4 times in my head.
I'm still replaying it.
I wasn't sure if it was a joke because I was like, wait, did he swap up some words?
No, it was a legitimate saying.
Believe twice of what you see.
Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear.
Yeah.
Oh. He's right. I did mean Abraham Lincoln. Sorry, I mixed it up. It's supposed to be Abraham Lincoln in that meme. Somebody called me out for it. I'm like, look, see, don't believe everything you hear on the internet.
Never forget, use the Force, Harry, said Gandalf with a picture of Patrick Stewart.
I was playing Metopia, and you could go on like these little outings with like your Mii's. One of them is that you go to a movie theater. So I went to the movie theater, and there was like, I can't remember 2 of the Mii's, but I had very close to real Abraham Lincoln and clone high Abraham Lincoln both in there. And my chat pointed out, oh god, you got 2 Abraham Lincolns in a theater.
Oh no. Hey, statistically, one of them will be okay.
Here, chat's never seen this picture before, so I wanted to at least get this in before we wrapped up for the day. I just want to make sure that they... I want to make sure that they were aware of this early internet meme in case they've never seen this before.
Yeah, how to piss off any nerd in the mid to late 2000s.
God, that one's so good. I love that one. It's so good.
Use the Force, Harry.
All right, I think it is time to start wrapping up. That flew by, man. We're at an hour and a half. That flew by real fast.
Holy crap,
We spent a lot of time talking about pets and dreams, and here we are.
And not a single bit about restaurant violence.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Steven. Specifically you.
Well, there was actual restaurant violence that happened here. I mean, there always is. But, like, it happened in a Waffle House. Like, someone died in one of our local Waffle Houses last night in a shootout. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to not mention restaurant violence.
Well, but then you just detailed what happened. So now we're going to have to find out next time or now.
Please tell me it wasn't the one we went to at the end of Coliseum 2019.
No, we've got many Waffle Houses.
Okay.
He's in the South. There's plenty of Waffle Houses.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know why I don't go. Go ahead. Sorry.
Our talking points for this episode, according to Dan. 20% Steve. Wake up! Threatening directions. Wormhole in the murder barn. Pet mares. I need sustenance, father. Dream bits. Martha Stewart dragon. Bigger dreams. McDestiny. Exploding John. And scare Jared with shirts.
I'd like to also point out that bigger and bigger dreams is all caps.
Yeah,
of course it is.
Look, like I said, when I remember, like, holy shit, that was a recurrent dream. Oh my God, Rosa John makes so much sense now. God damn it! It's like one of those like crises. I'm like, oh God, everything is connected after all.
You're like the dude from Always Sunny trying to connect Pepe Sylvia with all the yarn on the board there. That's Always Sunny, right?
I got boxes full of Pepe.
Well, so much of your adulthood can be linked back to your childhood. So there you go.
Why is it that part though?
Listen, I don't know.
It's not the part I would have expected. Dan, you want to get
your mind knows what it wants.
Yeah, I guess. Dan, you want to get some words in before we say what we've all been up to, or do you want to do that after? Your call.
Sure.
Thanks, Dan.
I think it's been has it been a year? Are we at a year? It's been a year. I think
yeah. So the last Coliseum, so like in May last year, marked when Disc Only happened, but the official podcast launched in July of 2020. So it would be July is officially our 1 year, but this is technically episode like it's officially 11, but it's more like 13.
I think we should upgrade Dan from a word to a sentence.
Okay.
So Dan, I think Dan should have a sentence.
Wow.
Next year he gets a paragraph.
We're working towards that.
Congratulations, Dan.
So now,
That was it. Thank you, Dan. I'm
He
looking
picked the
forward to
shortest sentence he could have gone with. All right. What are we all up to this week? Who wants to run away with us first?
Why don't we go in introduction order, John?
All right. So, in the past month, a lot's happened. I'm officially a member of Normal Boots now.
Congrats, by the way. That's awesome.
So I'm now in a group with Chad Tronic, Lady Pelvic, The Completionist, Peanut Butter Gamer, and Digino Gaming. We now have currently 2 updates a week going up on youtube.com/normalboots. Right now it's Minecraft Hardcore episodes. There will also be going up with Gamer Tiers where we discuss different topics. The last episode that went up was ranking 3D Mario games, and that was an experience. And the next 2 that are going up are also going to be experiences. I'm still in TRG. It's because we just finished up Coliseum. Rosa John made an appearance and did all the work for me. I appreciate her for that. And but as a result, you couldn't resist.
God damn.
I was still part of that sentence. He was just there was a long ellipsis.
Yeah. There's like 7 bonus streams I'm a part of now. The first one is tomorrow. Tomorrow, myself, unless things change last minute, myself, the Completionist, Tom Fox, and Messianella are going to be doing a BizHawk Shuffler race. And I've been shown, Tom, unless this is incorrect, tell me now, because I feel like this is the time to speak up.
No, that's right.
Okay, I got worried for a second there because of the silence. So I've gotten a preview list of the games, aside from some mystery games getting thrown into the pile. It's going to be a thing to watch. There's an interesting set of games there. We, at some point, the 4 of us, need to figure out, I guess 5 technically because Dan can hang out too. We need to figure out when we're going to do our 2 Chaos Cookie bonus streams. Well, we can discuss that off podcast if you guys would like.
Near future.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, I think there's
Near
like
future.
7 I'm a part of at some point. So
Criminally.
because there's 2 Chaos Cookie ones. There's the BizHawk Shuffler. There's wrapping up that Mario Party board.
Oh yeah, I'm part of that one too.
Yeah. There's the Sticker Star bonus stream with Emil. I keep forgetting every single time. I have to do a multi-world randomizer with the Completionist. I might also have to do one as Rosa John. I forget. And then at some point, there's an actual just regular-ass Rosa John stream that I'm supposed to do. That was from the Breast Cancer Research Foundation stream. So, like, I'm going to be busy with those. Otherwise, still on TRG Tuesdays. Well, it would normally be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, but right now we're uploading Coliseum pieces. I'm uploading on YouTube solo Sundays and Thursdays, currently playing through Super Adventure Island 2 and Vice Project Doom. And then I'm streaming here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. So I'm busy. Tom.
Okay, just making sure it was my turn to go. Okay. So I'm reopening a merch store, which means the Screaming Quagsire shirt will be back, as well as 2 other designs, one for Big Puppy Energy and one for Canaman. Canaman being Agent 47's weapon of choice in my Hitman streams. And then on this coming Monday, June 7th, I'm going to be part of the Ink and Blood D&D campaign on Arcadum's channel. Where I will be playing as a very pretty lizard man. And then, let's see, what else do we got? We've been streaming Metopia, we've been streaming Monster Rancher. On Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I've been playing Mother 3 on YouTube. And then on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays, I've been playing Star Wars Ice Old Republic, which we're almost done with. So, who knows what the next game after that's going to be. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Manatee, you got anything?
Oh,
nope.
oof.
All right, Steven, you're up.
So Emil was just here, Mr. Chugga Conroy. And that was fun. He spent a few days here. As a result, if you're a fan of vlogs in which he appears in, there's already one out, and there'll be some more coming out. We also we've talked about doing this for years. We finally did Name That Pokemon, where Emil shows me Pokemon, and I attempt to name them. It went about as well as you would expect, but I'll have that out probably in the next few days. Otherwise, over on Stephen Plays, we finally got around to doing the GTA Casino heist, because that's been something we've wanted to do for a long time. And then the biggest news is that this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are doing our finale for Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Hey.
We've been playing it for a year every Friday, and finally everything is done. Like last week, we've been doing like some viewer suggestion stuff, and we finished it all last week, including a fight with more than one Lionel, where we split the Joy-Cons, where I held one Joy-Con and Mal held another, and we had to fight Lionels. That was fun. But this Friday, we are going into the Ganon fight. Like, that is how the stream starts. That's at 8 p.m. I hope that you'll choose to join us. It'll be coming out on YouTube for months to come, because the streams are so much farther ahead. But it's really cool that after all this time, we're finally at the end.
That's crazy. You've been doing that for a year. My God.
Yeah.
Well, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, drum stream at 4:30 as normal. Just playing a bunch of random stuff. Y'all's request, of course. And then, so I have oh my God, I have a bunch of stuff that I'm doing this month. I am working on getting more gaming streams happening. And tomorrow, I have something that I'm doing tomorrow that I am, oh God, it's gonna be great.
Not proud of?
Well, no, it's not that. So I've been invited to a charity event that my buddy Holmick is putting on at the end of this month, and it is a Cursed Halo race. I have never played Cursed Halo before, and I need to get some practice in. So tomorrow at 4:30, I am playing Cursed Halo for the first time ever, blind. So I know nothing about it.
You know nothing about it. Oh my God, you are going to love it and hate it simultaneously.
Yeah,
I'm scared because Holmick also messaged me about being a part of this.
Oh, dude, frick yeah!
I'm like, it can't be that bad, right?
Dude, so okay. So there's one thing about it. There is so we're playing a modded version of Cursed Halo that is safe for streaming. And I say that because of the fact that the regular version of Cursed Halo, I have been told, has a big floppy Thanos woohoo in it. So we can't play that version. So it was replaced with, instead of that model, it's replaced of like a picture of Holmick's face, which is hilarious. Just his model is just Holmick's face. So that is what I'm doing tomorrow, but I'm trying to get more gaming streams in, but mostly it's going to be drum stuff. But yeah, that charity event is going to be a freaking banger. I think it's on the 26th of this month. It's going to be on the 26th, and it's going to be on everybody's channel that is involved, and more information will come about. But yeah, I am looking very forward to playing some Cursed Halo tomorrow because I've never done it.
It's a trip. Oh, is it a trip?
I've heard.
I'm going to try to tune in and catch this, because apparently I may also need to know this, and it might swing my opinion one way or the other of joining in on this.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Swing is definitely the right word when it comes to the sniper rifle in that game.
I am excited.
All right, Dan, what about you?
Oh, I can say...
Yes.
Thing?
Yeah, we gave you a sentence. Run with it. Run on with it.
Well,
plug your stuff.
Yeah, twitch.tv/motiondan. You can find that. Also, I edit for, well, three of the people. Just whatever they said.
TRG, Tom Fox, Stephen Place.
Go watch Grandpa beat Ganon, and yeah.
Stop staring at Rindo Takian's butt.
Yeah, and we're still releasing all those VODs, for the Coliseum. So
yeah, get ready to hear Dan talk about
Oh,
Rosa
yes.
John when Chaos Cookie goes up on
that's it.
Thursday.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, that's going to do it, folks. We do these at the beginning, the first Tuesday of every month, so we'll see you guys in July. And what day is that going to be? is going to be the 6th
Or is that
of
it?
July.
Is it over at?
Or did John? Or did we lose John again?
Did seriously?
see.
Are you serious?
Is he talking?
Are you fucking serious?
Yep, we lost John.
Oh, John.
I should just leave and just ignore them all for the entire thing. I think it's almost funnier this way.
So he yells.
John,
Hi, I'm back.
John
There he
was
is.
a friend. Oh, he's back. Okay.
I'm not allowed to hear the John was a friend song, apparently. That's very not allowed.
Well, if you're here, then you are a friend. If you're gone, you were a friend.
Ooh, good point. Good logic. All right, so yeah, we do these at the beginning of every month, first Tuesday of every month, which means we will see you guys back here again July 6th, 2021. And again, whenever we figure out when we're doing the Chaos Cookie bonus streams, you will be hearing pretty much all these voices again. Special shout out to Popsky for the theme song for the podcast, Prism Shard for the logo, and Paper Pennies for the beautiful intro art piece. And of course, our producer is Motion Dan. Good night, everybody. We'll see you all in our respective places from here on out. Take it easy.
Disappointed!